So let's get into it. Week one, actually the Saturday that I moved in. Have never, ever had a roommate. And so, um, even living at home, even in college, I've never had a roommate. And so, except maybe at summer camp when I was like in third grade, but that's about it. But years ago. And so, this has been very, very different for me, having a roommate, sharing a very small space, but it has been the most amazing experience ever. Shout out to my roommate. You know who you are. And so, I'm excited about, just navigating what that looks like as a 40-year-old something. And so, 40-something-year-old person. And so just some things, some reflections that I wrote down about week one. So we actually had to go up 4 flights of stairs, 4 flights. I mean, this is only 4th floor, I guess 3 flights, but a king hall. And so I watched a video about you have no one to help you. You've taken your flight, you've landed at the airport, you've had to navigate getting here. And so you are walking up 3 flights of stairs to get up to the 4th deck. And so when you walk in, you're actually walking into a ship. You are expected to sign in, of course, and you talk to the officer, our junior officer who is there. But you basically, you're in civilian clothes at that point, so you're not expected to salute that individual, but it's a very interesting process. And so, you'll learn more about that when you get here. So, had my pack on, walking up the stairs, met somebody. I mean, he was like super fit and everything. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm here and I've not run in a while. And so I've been focusing on swimming. And so walked up the stairs and found my room. And you guys, oh my gosh, we had a faulty fire detector that was like going off every 10 minutes like clockwork. And so we actually had to move out of that room to the room that we are in right now, but it was crazy. And so we had that. And then also that night we did not get to eat. We were expected to eat before we got here, but moving in, just meeting everybody. And then after that, we had the opportunity to, the next morning, wake up at our leisure, get to where we needed to get to by 11, and then the whole journey began. So we had lectures, we had things that we needed to go purchase that day. We had to go, and we had an opportunity before 11 to go get what we needed to get from the, not the commissary, but the exchange, like any hair gel or anything like that people forgot. I had the chance to get that. A lot of people got like the bun donut things for their hair, but that was really neat. And so we did that. And then we came back, went to the first session that was at 11. And from then, week one started. And so we ate breakfast. Did we eat breakfast? I don't know if we ate breakfast that day, but I think it was on our own. But we had lunch, which consisted of sandwiches, and dinner consisted of, I think dinner was the first time that we actually went to the Galley, which is our dining hall here on base. But y'all, I was like, and we are eating sandwiches, and I'm gluten-free and a vegetarian, so that was not hitting anything. And so I was like, if we're eating like this all the time, I need to stock up on certain things because I couldn't eat anything. And so the next day, which is Monday, we had the chance to eat breakfast at the Galley. Breakfast is amazing at the Galley. And so lots of fruits, lots of turkey sausage, regular sausage, French toast, pancakes, but it's neat. And the people who work at the Galley are top notch. And so I really, really have enjoyed going to the Galley. All right, so week one, everything was new. Everything was new. So I've worked a civilian job for a long time. I've almost worked for the state, I would have to say like maybe 22, 23 years. And so, everything is new, like starting a new job plus. And so everything was new, lots of shouting on the first day. We didn't quite know what to do. We had a book that we were expected to look at, but all of the rules and regulations and the ways that we were expected to behave are actually in the book, everything. But lots of shouting because we were not expected to know anything, and we weren't expected to get it. Well, we weren't expected to. Okay, basically they shouted us because we got stuff wrong, but we were able to get it in check like super soon. And so we basically, you go into the galley, and here's a dining hall procedure. You're in your, well, you have to march to the galley. There's a whole procedure with that. And then you also have to stand in line to be served the food, and you know, step forward. Every, you know, person, you know, when they get their food, then you can step forward. You have to raise a glass when you signal for the next person to step forward, and then the line is able to progress. All right, so there's that. You can't say anything. And then you get to your table, and then the person at the table was expected to know to say, basically, everyone can, and it's not in these words, but, you know, you're expected to put your tray down, put your food where it needs to go on the tray because there's a certain order. And then you're expected to sit down when everybody sat down, and you could only sit down whenever the whole table filled up. You sat down, and then automatically your 15 minutes started. And so you only had 15 minutes to eat. The section leader counted down from 15, and then they had on to 10, and then they had the 5. So you're expected to eat an entire meal in 15 minutes. And so I was like, what did I get into? This is interesting. So that was part of the eating in 15 minutes. It was interesting. We have basically our chiefs, and so they are the officers who like basically make everything run very efficiently, but lots of shouting. You eat as a team, again, no talking. You have to make decisions, like split-second decisions on what you're going to do. I got called out on this a lot, but I talk a lot with my hands, and so no talking with your hands. We had our PFA, I guess day 2, which was Tuesday, I think. Tuesday or Wednesday, and so our PFA was our physical fitness assessment. And y'all, when I tell you, I've never run a mile and a half ever, but I'm working up to that. Goals for this year, but I did finish the physical fitness assessment. I maxed out on my planks, y'all, yes, and then also maxed out on my push-ups, yes. Actually maxed out on my plank for the 20-year-old male group, because each age group and each gender have a different, you know, I guess standard, but I maxed out the plank for the males, so I was super happy about that. But the run, I wasn't last, but I wasn't first. I sure wasn't first, and so that was good as well. So then we did the PFA one day, and then we had class and everything, and we are all wearing our warm-up suits, our Navy warm-up suits that has like the Navy on the back. Then the next day we did our swim test, and I was so nervous. It was super early in the morning, but we did our swim test, and I've been practicing at the Y. Shout out to the Hood County Y, because you guys got me where I needed to be. But I did the swim test, and so that was great. And then we had to jump off. So you have to swim across the pool, and then it's like making a L. And so you have to swim across the pool. You can't touch the side, and then you have to keep going. So I did the breaststroke across, and then I did a modified back, I don't know what you call it, but anyway, I swam the whole way. So I was super excited about that. Then we did where you jump off the platform, the 10-foot platform into the water, which I think was like a lot taller, but I don't know. It was tall. 10-foot platform into the water, and then swim to the side. So I was cool with that. That was great. And then we had to float on our backs for 5 minutes. I usually move to keep myself afloat, and so you're out there with everybody else. So that was crazy, but I did that too. And then the thing that got me was the coverall piece. So you're putting on these coveralls, and you have to put like the largest pair of coveralls. Wouldn't have chosen coveralls that were this large in hindsight, but you have to like open them up in the water, and you have to scoop water in there, and then close it, and then float forward. And so I had to do that 3 times, because how do you practice for that? But I did that, and so that worked out eventually well. Okay, so did that, and then swimming PFA, walking up 4 flights or to the 4th floor 8 times a day. My thighs are like in the best shape ever. I'm seeing muscles I've never seen before. And then also making your bed. I'm looking at my bed right now. It is tight, and I will tell you some tips in another video. And then also getting to know like the different things that the Navy wants you to know. So I have a copy of that sheet, and what I did was I put on that sheet, I probably have to, it's probably still in my pocket, let me see. But yeah, it is. Okay, so this is my gal sheet, and so this sheet has been through it. You can like see a little hole at the top, but basically it has anchors away, the articles of the code of conduct, the Navy's birthday, core attributes of Navy leaders, 15 leadership traits, and then on the back it has the mission of the Navy, discipline, more about that later, the chain of command, phonetic alphabet, oath of office, sailor's creed, Navy core values, and then the general orders of the century. You're expected to know all this in 2.5 weeks plus more. And so yeah, we were studying this like right before chow. Every single day people would like be studying this in the hallway. They're posted it in the bathroom, they're posted in the bathroom stalls. So you were exposed to this like every day. And you guys, I'm good with all this, and I'm still gonna keep this in my pocket. I'm probably gonna keep it forever as long as it works. But what I did, they had these on regular pieces of paper, so I decided to laminate it and basically put like these strips of tape like all around it, and then I put the tape on the back. So this is my original gal sheet, and this has lasted like 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks. So there's that. Okay, so we did the gal sheet, we did the dining procedures and all of that good stuff. And then also glow belt. So this is my lovely glow belt. You have to wear this at all times for your first 2 weeks. And so with your glow belt, I actually wore it to sleep, I wore it to the shower, I wore it everywhere, and then you have your hydration device. And so I'll show you what that looks like later. I'm actually gonna make an Amazon list too. But we had to wear our glow belts and our hydration device and take that to the bathroom everywhere we go for the first 3 weeks. Then roommates, talked about that. The military is very diverse. It's very different being here compared to my civilian job, where we can't talk about diversity as much. So I'm very, very excited. Had a great reflection conversation about that today. Shout out to who you are. Then just also liberty. So our liberty for the first week, we could go around base. We could wear our uniforms, which were like the physical training or the PT outfits. And that's about it. But week 1, I was like, why am I here? And so I tried to be positive. I will tell you that my roommate, she heard me not being as positive one day. She's like, that's not like you. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm going to get positive again. So yeah, that's week 1 in a nutshell. If you have any questions, let me know. Write them in the box below. But yeah, it's week 1 was done before we knew it. And on to week 2, which is in our next video.